Brian Ritsuno here. Today I want to share with you the importance of manners and the sense of style, so to speak. This is like quite an easy fix, so we want to take advantage of this to make our lives like maybe there might be some sort of like obstacles or things, and it might be just a little bit of your mannerism or some kind of styles or just a little superficial things that might be on in the way for you to advance, like radically really change your life trajectory to the better. And it actually creates more status, like appearance might have this type of impact. So, and it's pretty quickly you can fix, unlike skills or talent. So definitely need to take advantage of. Especially also, even if you have like a lot of skills or a lot of talent or like diligence something, if somebody is not really wanted to work with you for whatever the reason, you're not in a cool crowd, or people doesn't like something about your odor or like smell, or the kind of the appearance is a little strange or whatever, you might have some sort of like unintended exclusion thing going on in your life. So we'll have to really take care of these. And earlier, like in a year, my life, I used to kind of thought I tend to go kind of extreme one way or the other, as I didn't quite have that emotional control. And one time I was really thinking like, as long as I have a talent, I work hard, I have skills, whatever that is. How I like wear, or how I being perceived or something doesn't really matter, just because I can produce something that something cool that the people want, or things of that nature. But then I realized, like, especially like whatever most of the, like, it's a service business or like even product or whatever, it is geared towards, of course, people, right? That's where the your profit or money comes from. And people really respond first and foremost the appearance rather than substance. Substance comes later. Like if they buy something, and then if the quality or of service or product that wasn't really good, then they're never gonna buy that again. But then the initial impression is from the appearance. If we don't have that to offer, like a great presentation, then you might not have any chance that whatever things you did great behind might never reach to the appropriate audience. And a lot of times, I'm just right now talking about the product and services, but then if you want to make friends or having a great relationship with other people, that might be the just a issue. And yeah, it is such a oftentimes neglected, just because some people just want to think of yourself or your presentation being the perfect, like really good, or kind of want to justify your appearance, and then start saying, oh, it doesn't really matter, or things of nature. But people get annoyed, especially for the strangers or even if somebody's close. Like little things, people feels a little weird or annoyed by. Even facial, like subtle movement. People are pretty perceptive, so we really need to have some sort of like mannerism, just because like our emotion can go up and down, whatever, and sometimes you don't feel like it, but then people just don't care, right? Like when they judge you, and then you don't want to just get caught in a bad place, and since you don't have a mannerism or manner, a good manner, that you're being perceived really low, and then you might lose the opportunity to connect with that person. It might be who might be important. It could be important in your life. So yeah, since this type of things is result can be pretty immediate, so there is no reason for us to really correct as fast as possible and then make it as a habit. So one thing having a problem, like when I was trying to understand this type of concept of importance of like a politeness, like good manner, or like having a sense of good style, is that it might seems like a little bit of fraud, right? Like it's appearance, like everybody thinks like, oh, why don't you just care about who you are inside matters, and things of that nature. And that is true. Like if you kind of start getting to like, I'm not, if you have money or whatever, that's fine. Like, but then like getting to like, even if you cannot really afford, like you start buying like expensive brand and or expensive cars and feeling like somebody's impressed by it, or think that type of kind of warped mentality. I mean, nobody really care that much actually. Like you, as much as you drive like whatever, like nice car, whatever, you feel great, but then you're just passing by, and then nobody really actually care what you drive technically. So but then there is a little bit of like a balance there. So for instance, sometimes like if you're in a particular jobs or something, certain type of car might help. I'm just saying might help. Yeah, but that's a really the iffy part, right? I mean, you attract a different type of audience basically, and I would say generally appearance in the beginning are, yeah, as long as you have the very basic minimal style or mannerism or politeness, that's really what we are looking for, and then that's what we need. And then if you go overboard, then you have to really think about, okay, is this kind of getting into kind of deceptive? Like you're trying to hide something that you are, you don't have a competency, or your intention, like malicious intention, like deception. So it is a little bit of balance. But what I'm trying to say is like having the minimum mannerism and politeness and a sense of style. And some people might go ask like, okay, what about how about like your physicality, like muscle, or like your yeah, like your physical fitness, right? And this is, I think it's pretty important, but it takes time. And yeah, I think everybody should strive for like the best, like physical shape, physical optimality, so that you can actually function better in a business or whatever sense because you're healthy. But then that's a separate topic where it takes a long time. You really need to take care of your health every single day. But what we're talking about is something else. So what I'm talking about is more like something that you can really fix right away. Yeah. For instance, like posture. For instance, like nutrition, like what do you eat or how you eat, right? Or your hygiene, like oral hygienes, or your hairstyle, clothes that you wear. Something you can actually fix, like, and the people can perceive you, or like, smells and odors, that type of things. Just the details matters, but as long as you're aware and then you're going towards that, kind of taking of those, then that result's going to be immediate, and it worthwhile to actually spend a little bit of money to have that certain set of resources to take care of what I just said, like clothes and hygienes and all that, like nutritions and that type of things. So there are a lot of things, right, to take care of, like sometimes like your behavior kind of not piss people, but then kind of push people away. Is like you might have some sort of like strange behavior, right? I mean, people might say that's a quirk. I'm not. If you have like a medical condition, there's not much you can do. That's part of it. So you got to deal with it. But a lot of times, even those kind of like, let's say if you have a tick, or like you can have a facial tick, or you move your body, or you crack your knuckles, or whatever that you are tends to have sort of like manner, right? Then you can actually fix it. It takes a while, but then this type of things, it's just a habit. So when you notice, you fix it. And those are it's not really a substance, right? It's not like something that you gonna do to somebody or impact like in a substantial way, but the people will kind of get annoyed and kind of they likely to think you less. That's a real problem. So for instance, like a manner, like when you're talking to somebody, like put yourself on down and then focus on the person, not like while you're talking, you're texting or like browsing. That's just rude. That type of like politeness is really necessary. I mean, having that and not my give you an opportunity of a lifetime where you might lose it. And I think it's because like this type of like manners and politeness comes from like people's like in people belonging to a group. Certain group, like as people grow in size, like the number of people in a group, like we need some sort of like decorum, some sort of like set mannerism or politeness. Otherwise, like things doesn't really function. It's everybody's like behave in a chaotic way. It's just nothing can be like really move on, right? because everybody, one is saying this and the one doing this way, and it's just disorganized. So it has to have some set of rules. So it's very instinctive and evolutionarily, this type of impression. So yeah, you really have to know which country, like let's say you're in a certain region, like, or countries or whatever, then you got to learn the customs and traditions a little carefully, and then at least adhere as much as possible. And so it's hard, right? Like how you judge yourself if you have that certain type of the mannerism and all that, or what you're aware is good enough. Is you just have to experiment. Like if your life is moving forward without the quite a friction, it's just like everybody kind of invites you in. When you talk, you don't have that kind of like a bad vibe, that type of things, and then you know that likely your politeness is good, and that your attire is good, your hygiene is good, and if people want to kind of hang out with you, likely, I mean, a lot of times your attitude and your social status as well. However, yeah, I think you're good enough. But then let's say if you are not kind of struggling to get what you want, right? Like in a business sense or making friends or something, just try to improve some of the styles, or be aware, because let's say if your smells like from body odor or your mouth, you cannot smell by yourself. It's pretty difficult. So if you do it normally, so you got to kind of dig into it, right? Like you really have to kind of go, like let's say oral hygiene, you got to kind of probably you got to use the Q-tip or something like that to kind of dig in and then see how that smells, or you got to kind of check, and making sure that everything's good. And it actually helps your like health, like how to eat, and so it all ties into being the better version of yourself. And a lot of times, like people get actually confused just type of like having a sense of like style as to be accepted as like abandoning an individuality, and you're conforming to some set of like things, and then if you're kind of streak of rebel, then you might not like this kind of things. However, I'm trying to say is like there is always a time and place, right? You can be a rebel and then you can wear something that show your individuality, right? Like you got a lot of tattoos or whatever, that's fine, but that's fine in a certain place. Some other place might not be fine. And the issue is you got to make a calculation, right? Like if you have certain type of individuality, like let's say you wanted to wear like a goth or some sort of like a costume-ish clothes, people will look at you as this being. They are not gonna see you as an individual anymore. You're the representation of something. So I'm not sure if that's what you want, but then if you have a real individuality, then the best course is not for them to look at you through that lens, like from the appearance. Appearance is just to let them just cross the boundary of like this this guy smells like they're acting weird, and then this guy's impolite and that type of thing. And then people will get to know you, right? So and you also have to realize, like, when you say you rebel, you're belonging to a certain group, generally speaking. This kind of rebel, like there's a rebel group. So you are not conforming to the like, let's say, mainstream or like majority, but you conforming to a certain sector of a population, and that's generally the case, right? And then you can actually say to yourself, like, hey, I'm a rebel, or I'm expressing individuality, but then you're not really expressing individuality. You're expressing the notion of this group identity. If you get too far down this kind of road. So what I'm saying is, like, anywhere you go, if you are individualistic or whatever, like, or more traditional, it's either case, it's good to have understanding that the custom of a certain place that you're going to, you're interacting to, and then adjust accordingly. You don't want to be the guy that who stand out because of certain behavior, certain mannerism that the people find a little strange, or things of nature. But I'm saying, like, if some bunch of crowd is like acting like weird, or like substantially lower value, or things of nature, and then you should adapt. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying the opposite way. It's like you don't want to be the one that have a lower value than everybody else. If everybody is a lower, then you should just get out. That's the best course of action. And you might hear sometimes, like, a lot of successful people have quirks, right? Like, I heard for instance, like Steve Jobs might had like body odor problems, or some people have a kind of the different, like, mannerism, like arrogancy and etc. But then this is not their individuality. I mean, this is just since they're famous. I mean, everybody has their own individuality. And then when they become competent, and then when you do things, some of the things, it's not their priority to fix anymore, because there are so many things that they are dealing with. However, these people in general have very good common sense. That's the thing. It's not like they quite don't get it. It's just that they get the importance of politeness or manners and all that stuff. So they don't just try to disrespect. So it's not willful thing. And since they're, got there, like successful people, some people got there with some of the quirk that the people might get repulsed by. But then, generally speaking, those are probably exaggerated claims, and then you don't need that the type of like obstacles. For instance, like if you see some billionaires have some kind of quirk, and then he has it, so I can have it too, right? But then maybe I would say once you get there, you can have it. But then if you don't have it, then if you don't are not billionaire or whatever, like where you want to be at, don't have any of these strange quirks, so to speak. That's not where you are trying to fight on. You got to focus on the having a great goods, or produce great goods or services, or treat people with respect and then, you know, do good. That should be the focus, and everything else is and everything else that prevent you from in some way to do so. Just reduce those. So learn these kind of things like manners and stuff. And how you learn manners is just you know, observe carefully, and then maybe ask questions to people that who can be honest with you, and you know, keep researching. And then really when you understand this power of a presentation, you will gain access to places that you would never really imagine. And that not just the place, but the relationship, and many opportunities that may have been closed to you. So yeah, possibly like having a suit, or, you know, nice one pair of nice clothes. Doesn't have to be that expensive, but you know, nice looks, nice haircut, whatever. These things people perceive very differently, and probably this is the easiest thing you can raise your status and have a disproportionate amount of impact. So there's no reason for anybody to take advantage of, and actually it creates more harmonious relationship with other people, especially like being polite, being respectful, and that type of things. Hi, thank you for watching. Please write down your idea in the comment section below to help each other. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and hit bell button to be notified a new video. See you next time.